That church there is called Christ Church, and that's what I saw out my hotel room window in Dublin. My hotel was pretty much centrally located in an area called Temple Bar. And Temple Bar is definitely a party area. But don't get me wrong, there's partying going on in Dublin everywhere. That's Temple Bar of the area, Temple Bar. That's the actual Temple Bar. But I have never seen so much drinking in my whole life. I mean, all around the clock. Daytime, nighttime, every night of the week. It's insane. And I asked people, is this just because it's summer? And they're like, no, it's always like this. Like, people drink there like there's no tomorrow. I've never seen anything like it, ever. I was like really shocked. I mean, they must earn so much money off the people there. Temple Bar, by the way, is predominantly tourist. I mean, even the staff, well, they're Polish. The Irish people really don't hang out in Temple Bar because it's just too touristy for them. That's what I found out from local Irish people. They hang out a bit north of there in an area, I mean, on Grafton Street near Trinity College. So if you want to, and this girl here is puking her guts out. That's the results of Temple Bar. That's me drinking a Bulmer's cider. When I go out, I drink 2 drinks. I'm a lightweight. I can only handle 2 drinks. See that place there? That is supposedly the rock and roll bar of Temple Bar. But I was in there and I heard fucking Footloose playing and I bolted. The real rock and roll bar in Dublin is called Bruxelles or Bruxelles. That fucking place is hardcore rock and roll. One room is like death metal downstairs, and the other room is classic rock, and upstairs is just rock. So if you love rock and roll and you go into Dublin, look up Bruxelles. I love it that there's no smoking allowed indoors in Dublin. Like when I went out, my eyes did not burn out of my head and my hair didn't smell like in Berlin. New York is smoke-free, London smoke-free, Dublin smoke-free. Hope fucking Berlin takes a hint and eventually becomes smoke-free, but by that time I'll be out of here anyways. The buskers were really fun in Dublin. I mean, there was lots of talent going on in the streets. Bongo players, assorted freaks, like this guy, who it reminds me of somebody from the movie like Clockwork Orange. You give him money and he fucking freaks out on you. I was watching him for a good half hour. This old guy walked up and gave him money and he snapped at him. The whole point of this trip was me and my girlfriends meeting up and gonna go see the Steve Vai show, and we did. But of course we explored Dublin together. And by the way, remember what I said about in the last film, Dublin Part 1, how the taxi driver said you're supposed to shag outside because you're not allowed to bring guys in your hotel room or girls, whatever? Well, just keep in mind that, Ireland has cameras all over the walls, all over the street, outside, on all the buildings there's cameras, and they're watching. Just like in the UK. And they're starting to do that in America, too. It's supposedly, to fight crime, but if you're shagging outside, keep that in mind. They're watching. So the Steve Vai show, wow. There's this thing at the beginning of the day called Evo. And those are the hardcore Steve Vai fans in the room, waiting for him to come in. That's a hardcore fan right there called John. That's Steve himself during the sound check, which was amazing. That's his drummer getting a massage, and his bass player, Brian Beller, who's fucking amazing. That's Michelle from Belfast, who has a Steve Vai tattoo on her wrist. That's the drummer and Steve giving an interview after the show. He's so nice to his fans. I've never, ever come across an artist in my whole life who's so nice to his fans. It's crazy. Well, these girls, they're so fun to hang out with. Christy, Nicole, that's Nicole, and Kristen. Nicole and Kristen are sisters. Steve Vai calls them Crazy Redhead 1 and Crazy Redhead 2. We all understand each other very well because we're all New Englanders. We're all from New England. They're from Boston. They're really shy. Unlike me. I love hanging out with them. Well, we were doing the monkeys walk, you know, from that show, Hey Hey, we're the monkeys. And people were looking at us like, what the fuck? Anyways, Dublin does have really nice sunsets. If you're going, remember, forget the high heels, bring tons of money, and if you're going to shag outside, be careful because there's cameras everywhere.